Hi, I'm Janet M. Harvey. I am an ICF Master Certified Coach with more than 12,000 hours of practice and had close to 8,000 hours when I was introduced to mentor coaching. Yes, I had done a couple of certification programs and I had moved across the country and back across the country and landed where I live now in the Pacific Northwest. And I was introduced to a thing called mentor coaching. What struck me was, as a coach and someone who'd been working as a coach, I had this very different experience. One person who was deeply caring, wanted me to understand my own natural style, who was appreciating the skill that I had developed so far, had a very conversational approach with me that I thought was really invested in me being the best coach I could be. And then a different coach who was mentor coaching me, who was direct and critical and actually had a point of view of something being right or wrong. And I found myself getting smaller and smaller and smaller in that interaction. What struck me is that both of these people work for the same organization. How could this be? And I vowed to myself at the time that when I was ready, I would become a mentor coach because that first experience was so refreshing. And if there was even one more person out there who was behaving like that other mentor coach, I wanted to do something about it. When I ultimately ended up purchasing a coaching education company, one of the very first things we did was build a mentor coaching certification program to ensure that anyone who stepped on that path understood how to be developmental in their approach, uplifting through a peer to peer partnership. Yes, a mentor coach knows a little bit more. They're further down the path and they study and they're disciplined about how to draw out the best of the core competencies aligned to someone's unique style. But at the end of the day, it's the quality of the trust and rapport that gets developed so that me, as the coach, can actually receive the feedback, connect the dots, and implement it into my practice. This is the work I've lovingly done since 2007, training mentor coaches in a developmental generative approach and being a mentor coach for every level and stage of development. And I find great joy in having people at the end of 60 minutes say back to me, now I understand what's motivating me to choose what I do, when it's effective, and how to correct in the moment when I've done something that maybe had a little different choice point. A question I'm often asked is what's the purpose of mentor coaching and why is it valuable? When you think about your practice as a coach, no matter where you are on your own journey, you're often alone. And since you've left your education program, it could be only a month, it might be several years. When have you paused to reflect on your own practice and to identify where you might be stepping into some old habits and not even realize it? Of course, you can look at your own transcripts and you can have a practice of seeing if there's a way you want to experiment, maybe even have done some training and brought a new tool in. But even as I say that, perhaps you can hear, does the tool end up leading? Or is it in service to being client centered and allowing the client to lead? These are questions that you bring to mentor coaching because it is a pathway for you to ensure ethical quality always. As human beings, it's perfectly natural to have other aspects of our life creep in to the way that we practice coaching. And yet, it is a distinctive set of skills and mindset. And it is one that is very easy to find ourselves, I don't know, how do I want to say this? Sitting in the same seat with the client and not necessarily keeping our peer to peer partnership. Becoming aware as the first step opens up the conversation for you to tap your curiosity and maybe even a little bit of wonder, which I defined as rapt attention to something astonishing emerging. I'm thinking about someone I'm working with right now who is on their pathway to submitting recordings for their MCC. And 10 hours of mentor coaching is required for that. And we've been working on this journey for about 4 months now. This particular individual keeps surprising themselves, recognizing, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I have been managing the coaching engagements, as opposed to allowing the client to inform me about what it is that's important for them to learn about themselves so that they can make some different choices. All coaching is about learning, growth, and change. So, my ability as a mentor coach to create an environment where they can be in the vulnerability that says a statement like that then opens the door for them to start to construct a new approach for themselves. So, awareness is the beginning of that journey, but ultimately, it is about deconstructing my motivation and reconstructing with a new level of motivation that is more deeply client centered and allowing for client leadership in every coaching session and relationship over time. I am a little bit of a geek about the core competencies, and I love speaking about them in plain English and helping you to recognize where you are currently strong and how to strengthen. Mentor coaching is a quality check process. And no matter whether you're working one on one or you might like to work in a group mentor coaching process, I and my team at inviteCHANGE, there are 18 of us, and 6 of those are MCCs, as I am, and the rest are PCCs, are available to provide mentor coaching services to you. Just access the link down below.